Fred Free Radio, this is Chiara Nicoletti. I'm with William Oldroyd and Thomasin McKenzie, director and actress of Eileen, coming out in Italian cinemas on May 30th. I have to say, I was thinking about, Eileen action and, the ending that we don't want to spoil, but at least this change, this decision that she takes for her life, let's say that. And I was thinking, don't laugh. I was thinking about Joker because in a way I remember that with Joker, I couldn't really tell if, he becoming Joker was a defeat or, an evolution in a way. And the sort of found myself thinking the same thing about Eileen. I mean, because the film makes you struggle as an audience because you can also feel her hurting. You can, even the relationship with their father is really hurting, and the moments they share are really painful to watch and to feel. So it was very difficult for me not to also go for Eileen in a way, that even in their extreme ways. So I don't know what you think about that, if you agree, how you develop this.
That's a really interesting comparison between Eileen and the Joker. I wonder who Batman is.
Okay.
It's Shay.
I wonder who Zazie Beetz' character is. Because in the Joker movie she doesn't exist, right? She does. She exists as the neighbor, but she doesn't. The relationship doesn't exist. It's his fantasy.
Well, Joker.
A lot of people have come away from seeing Eileen and said, "Did any of it really happen?"
Yeah,
it's interesting, and I don't want to lead people to a particular conclusion because I think that's what we were saying in the first instance. It's interesting to get people to ask questions. I think it allows people to participate in cinema. They go in and actually, I don't think that is an unuseful question to have. I mean, we talked about elusive, but actually, I think probably the word is ambiguous. If there's an ambiguity in cinema, it actually can draw you in. So I'm very happy you said that you were on Eileen's side at the end because I am. And, again, when you have people who do morally questionable acts, that's always a question for an audience. Do you support them or not? So I'm glad you do.
Maybe I have father issues, I don't know, but I was also very interested in, this relationship, father-daughter, because I remember it was also, again, Thomasin inspired me because I was watching another interview and you talked about, the love between father and daughter. That in a way there is, I can see, but I wanted to know more from both of you.
Father-daughter, mother-daughter relationships are always complicated. It's interesting when you get to a point in your life when you realize your parents' humanity, when you realize that they too have no idea what is going on and they're just trying to do the best that they can. That's not to excuse Jim's actions, because the things that he did that we think he might have done, well, there are hints at horrible, but I don't know what, but I don't know.
I think there's definitely a way of playing a Boston cop, alcoholic, ex-chief of police, which Shay very, very smartly steered us away from the beginning and focused on what Thomas identified, which is the love that existed in whatever strange, very weird, twisted form between the father and daughter. Because many of his actions did drive the mother crazy, did drive Eileen's sister away, and do mean that Eileen has to stay in the house and look after him, possibly until he dies. And he's so stubborn, he probably will never die, not soon, not before Eileen becomes an old woman herself. So it's this sort of nuance of performance that I think Shay is so brilliant at as an actor, that he came in and said, we've got to try it this way. And what he brought out was a really profoundly deep character. And I think that people who see the film will see that this relationship between father and daughter is one which is incredibly profound.
Yes, it came across to me when we were filming, the fear, I think, that Shay portrayed in his character, the fear that Jim had and the paranoia. And I think Eileen really pitied that, which is probably part of what caused her to stay on. Not necessarily feeling any empathy for her dad, but pitying him. And after all, he is her dad. And we all feel, when your parents get older and complications kind of arise, you feel a responsibility to support them through that. Maybe a misled one, though.
Well, I think, which way would you say that this film is Hitchcockian? Because I was thinking maybe it's the duality in women. I'm thinking about women in Hitchcock films, see, I don't know, Charlotte Newton, A Shadow of the Dove, for example. And I wanted to know more about you and where your Hitchcockian reference is.
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's not something that I set out to make. I didn't want to make a Hitchcockian thriller. It's something which has been said after we made the film. So I don't know what people see in it that makes them think of Hitchcock. I mean, I think some of the music, the typography, some of the fact that Annie looks a little like Tippi Hedren, for example. There's something, but I didn't want to fall into pastiche. I wanted to make something which was original. So I think the fact that it was a movie set in the 60s and some of the best films of the early 60s are Hitchcock's movies. Obviously, I watched them and was thinking about The Birds, for example, but I didn't want to use Hitchcock's language of cinema in this film because it would have been too simple. It would have been too obvious. We wanted to develop something of our own. I mean, he's a great filmmaker. I mean, it's very nice that people think that the film is Hitchcockian, but maybe it's also an easy label to attach to something. I don't know. We'll see what people think of the film in Italy,
Grazie. Thank you so much, Thomasin, Will.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
As you saw, I saw many things beyond Hitchcock.
Good.
And the Joker thing, so you can quote me on that.
Yeah, great. You can have that. Hitchcock meets Joker. Let's put that on the poster. That would be fantastic. We will come and see the movie.
And I would like to thank William Oldroyd and Thomasin McKenzie, director and actress of Eileen. And this is Chiara Nicoletti for Fred, the Festival Insider.